Whew, alright. If we get to the point of doing like a gas giant special, I genuinely do not know what I'm going to do. I think we've got enough planets. I think we're set. Oh, marginal life in a thin methane atmosphere. Interesting. So there are maneuvering thrusters that, with the mod I have, do add to the maneuverability. So hopefully that'll work. But yeah. Also, this thing has so much cargo space that I think it is like, well, obviously it's not impossible that I will to run out of stuff. Hold on. Let's see, there's some... I found out that there's... that Target sells, like, these, like, mochi things. And, because I'm curious. I want to see. I want to taste. I want to taste some mochi. I want to eat some mochi. And there are some mochi places in where I live, but they're not very. They're not too close to me, so it's a little bit of a pain. They're literally on the opposite side of town, actually. And one has, like, really weird, strange hours. But that's also the more interesting one, but I digress. And this is also probably going to be one of those that is going to be a little bit longer. Hopefully not too long. But we'll see. Ooh, yep. Sometimes that's gonna happen. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Okay. Oh, could you imagine it actually putting me into the floor or into the ground? Oh, jeez. Okay, so Star Citizen. Okay, resource, a nutrient resource. Cool, cool. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so Star Citizen. There's one strange thing that got said by a dev. Yogi Klatt, who's a great dude, genuinely loved by the community, also another nutrient one, a nutrient flora, antimicrobial, nice. So basically, there was somebody like months ago, several months ago, who said, "Hey, why did the Buccaneer get this change?" And he did go into describing about how the Buccaneer was sold as an interceptor, with the at launch. They said it was going to be comparable, or was going to have similar sort of... It was going to be balanced against the Gladius. Also some sealants. For the spike spit trap. Very nice, very nice. Life Science is probably... Yep, Life Science is definitely better. Ooh, and the antimicrobial is farmable. Very nice, very nice. Sorry, so... they, So, it was sold as basically an interceptor, and... I don't know if there was an expectation of there being, like, a light, medium, heavy interceptor. But he said, basically, hey, it's changed. Its weapon loadout is... Actually, I think... oh, also the nutrient is farmable, or one of them is anyway. I think he said the Buccaneer was better than a Super Hornet, or had a better weapon loadout than a Super Hornet, which, like, isn't true? Like, even if you're going fully fixed against fully fixed, like, the Buccaneer matches it, if not... It matches it, if not has the ability to go, it matches it, but the Hornet can go a little bit higher. And the Super Hornet doesn't... If the Super Hornet had any changes... There might be some internal changes, that they haven't... that I just don't know about, but the Buccaneer actually is, like, really... It's comparable to the Super Hornet, which is, to the Hornet / Super Hornet, which have the same loadout, as far as I am aware. Or at least the potential loadout. You'd think that the... Sorry. So, yeah, so it was a weird thing, there of like, well, actually, no, the thing isn't, exactly like that, but, you know, it is still like, okay, sure, the Buccaneer is in the realm of a medium fighter in terms of damage output. Okay, yeah, yeah, no, I can agree with that. It is supposed to be overgunned for what it is, but sure, it has potentially more DPS than but it, you know, potentially has around that same sort of area of DPS. So it's like, okay, so it's a medium interceptor. Okay, so it gets a class change, which does, or a sort of or a classification change, yeah. Okay, that's fine. It's like not unreasonable. Maybe, you know, it's sour. Maybe it's a little bit more sour to somebody who bought the Buccaneer and likes the Buccaneer before it sort of had the minute balancing changes it has, and then presumably the more drastic ones it's sort of implied to have. Also, this is awesome. It's a little concerning that I haven't found any fauna, but we'll see. The thing that really kinda grinded my gears, though, that he said was, somebody was like, hey, okay, so CIG has a bunch of internal classifications for these things. Xenogrub is not part of the local fauna, so that's okay. Hey, CIG has, you know, these internal classifications, could we see them? And he's like, nope. It's like, I can't understand why...
I have completed 10 million trials to prepare for this task.
You got credits, we got supplies. Buy while you can. Who knows if you'll be here again?
Sorry. I can't understand, like, why you wouldn't let the players know what the classifications are. Like, and I think he worded it in a strange way, where it was like...
remember us, if you need anything else.
Figuring out, ship stats is part of the game. He said something along those lines, and it was like, do you mean part of the game for the players? As in, I should be grinding out stuff in game, playing around with this fighter and realizing that, oh, this thing looked like a medium fighter, or this thing looked like a heavy fighter, but actually it's a light fighter for some weird fucking reason. Like, is that what you mean? Or, like, it's the game of game development of, like, hey, we have to balance, like, we're balancing things out, we're changing a bunch of things. If we gave you all these classifications now, if we went through the process of publishing, like, hey, this is the Buccaneers a medium interceptor now, and then it's like, oh, well, you know what, actually, no, maybe it should be a light interceptor, and they go back and change it, like, they don't want to have to, redo a bunch of work or they don't want to have to do work that they're going to have to redo later, that kind of thing. That I could understand more, if it's like, hey, yeah, we have these internal classifications, but we don't want to tell you until we're, like, really, really confident it's, like, concrete. That's fine, but, like, it sounded like he was like, okay, so these marketing terms... So we have these marketing terms, but we have these internal classifications because they don't always match up, and he's just like, nope, you don't get the internal ones because reasons. And, like, it's fucking dumb. Because, like, if it was an actual gameplay element, that's not how modern games work with the internet. Like, if I'm like, oh shit, okay, so I want to get into, space combat, what would be a good ship? What ships should I look at? What kind of space combat would I be interested, or what types of ships would I be interested in? It's like, oh, and you're gonna go look up a video, you're gonna look at a wiki, and it's gonna be like, hey, oh, you know what, okay, I kinda like the idea of, like, a light fighter, or a medium fighter. It's like, okay, you know what, I'll try and go with this. This sounds fun, this sounds interesting. You can make much more well-informed decisions about that, and, like, in-universe, they would also have these sorts of classifications. I mean, like... I don't... Like, dude, there's... How many types of car? How many types of motorcycle? I'm a little bit more well-versed with motorcycles, so I'll go with that. Like... It's like, well, okay... if it's like, well, I want this in a bike, it's not like there's just motorcycle. I mean, like, what do you want? Do you want a cruiser? Do you want a naked bike? Do you want a sport bike? Do you want... do you want a dual sport? Do you want an enduro? Do you want... do you want, an adventure bike? Do you want a touring bike? A sport touring bike? An enduro? I think I already said enduro. Scrambler, there's so many things, and there's so many microchasms of, like, like, you have a dual sport that is basically a dirt bike that is they put on all the legal necessities to make it a street bike. You have a scrambler that is a street bike that is modified to be a little bit more of a dirt bike. You've got an adventure bike that is basically a higher-end dual sport. I don't know if I'm actually right on that, but that's kind of my understanding of it anyway. But you get the point that, like, in real life, and the sort of universe that would exist in Star Citizen, in lore, there would be, like, the difference between a medium interceptor, a medium fighter, medium interdiction, or, there would be that kind of separation between those terms, and, like, maybe I'm blowing the whole thing out of proportion. Also, what the actual fuck? There is nothing here! What is happening? I might, this session might also be weird because, like I mentioned, the mochi. I might want to have mochi while I'm recording. And I'd have to stop recording, or I'd have to pause the recording, or I'd have to spend some time going down, getting the mochi, and then it would be a whole weird thing. So we'll see. But yeah, and then there was a follow-up that he said. It was like, hey, you know what, actually, the store page is pretty accurate. Holy fuck, the store page has never been accurate. Has genuinely never been accurate. And there was one dude in the comments who was going off about how inaccurate it was. And like, it was, I don't know, it was really weird. Because like, okay, we're just gonna go to another place. Like, if we have to go back to another swamp, that's fine. Are there only swamps? Okay, well there's stuff on the coast. There's stuff in the ocean, so there's at least that. But yeah, so like, for instance, the hurricane. It says that the hurricane has like 4 size... It says that it has like a group of 4 size 3s and a group of 4 size... I think it was a group of 4 size 3s and a group of 4 size 3s. Which isn't... which... I can't remember. I think it has... I might be remembering incorrectly. But it, like, basically, it had the pilot weapons. The Hurricane, for the uninitiated, is a turret fighter. So it's got 2 pilot-controlled weapons and then 4 guns on a turret. And, yeah, it's, So it lists all of those guns on the weapon under the weapon category on the page, which I think is the only time I've actually seen any ship do that. Also, let me make sure I know where I'm going here. Okay, so it's going to be a long walk. I believe it's going to be this direction. Yeah, so it says, but the way that I read the way that the Hurricane is, the way that the Hurricane's page describes it, it says that it has a size, it says that its turret can hold 4 size 7s. That's how I read that. That is genuinely how I read that. And people were arguing that no, it's a size 7 turret. And if you go to any other thing, and you go to a turret, it's not going to list, like... So it lists, like, so in every other thing, it would list, like, what guns it has on the turret, but for the Hurricane, it says size 7 turret. And genuinely, like... Yeah, so... Either the Hurricane is the way it's supposed to be, or every other thing is the way it's supposed to be, in which case one of them is wrong, and therefore inaccurate. And it's like... And the Buccaneer, by the way, is also inaccurate, in that, like, things... I mean, it's hard to describe exactly, I guess, because the Hornet has a spinal mount, which did change. It was a... It was a dorsal mount, and now it's a ventral mount. No, it's... No. No. Other way around. The dorsal fin... A dorsal fin is on the back. And a ventral fin is on, like, the belly. And such a ventral turret would be on the other side of the ship, and a dorsal turret would be on the top of the ship. I think. Maybe I got this mixed up. It was a bottom turret, now it's a top turret thing. I digress. Except it's, so it's a size 4 gun, or it's a size 4 hardpoint that you can mount a turret on that has 2 size 2s. And the way that it describes it is that it is a turret that you can mount 2 size 3s, and on that turret, instead of 2 size 3s, you have 2 size 2s, which isn't a thing. You can't downsize on a turret. I don't know if that was ever a thing you could do, but it's not a thing you can do now. And also, you know, you're not going to be able to downsize in the future. So, like, I don't know. Like, I trust Yogi. I trust Yogi that he knows what he's doing. Even if I don't agree with everything he's ever said. Or sometimes there is objectively something incorrect about what he said. And yeah. I'm also recording this on Tuesday, which Galactipedia update was all that happened for today. Nothing too crazy. It was just some information on some information on Xion planets, which, you know, is fine. I don't read too much into that just because, like, well, they did change Pyro, or they changed lore about Pyro when it, when the preview channel was out and people could actually go and explore. If they were updating stuff now and then eventually change it, I would be like, what the fuck are you doing? Because, like, but there is the possibility that some things will change. There is genuinely a possibility that even though, like, they had old lore and then they had to change it, because the game changed and things like that, and at the very least, that's the reason that was given for Pyro, so, the stuff they're doing now is, you know, hopefully just updating stuff. I hope I'm going in the right. I think I landed a long way from the coast. Relatively long way from the coast. So, that's whatever, but unfortunate here. And I don't know, that is... What's the gravity on this planet? 0.48. Why am I running out of so much okay, hold on. I've got some chemical issue here going on that I need to solve, like, immediately. Let's try not to use... Dislocated limb? What the f... Okay. Yeah, no, that would make sense. Okay. This is kind of nice as a planet, by the way. Aside from the methane atmosphere and the hypothermia. What's the temperature here? -4? Oh, getting hypothermia at -4 degrees Celsius seems kind of rich in a spacesuit. I don't know what -4 degrees Celsius or -4 Celsius is. That's like -4 Fahrenheit is like really, really cold, but -4 Celsius is not quite. I mean, it's like, it's cold. For me, it's cold, but I live in like 40, like 30 to 40 degrees Celsius temperatures. So like, yeah. Although, you know what, in all fairness, it probably is going... I don't know what the Celsius conversion is. I just know that 30 and 40 is around, like, 90 to 100 or 110 Fahrenheit or something? I don't know. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so that's one Star Citizen thing that's, like, really that whole thing definitely has me concerned. Definitely. I think I am going in the correct direction. Oh my god! Oh my god! Look at that! It's also kind of funny that I haven't found the coast yet. I mean, like, obviously the land masses aren't like ridiculously small, but like I'm on this planet is mostly water, so that would only make sense. Am I going in the right? Wait, hold on. Have I been going in the completely wrong direction? I have. I totally fucking have. That's fine, it gives me more time to talk about stuff. What else? What else? Also, I have to wonder. So apparently there are rivers, but I've never seen... I don't think I've seen any. But... yeah. Oh my god. One of my friends is playing GTA 5. I distinctly remember, like, we used to play GTA 5 quite a bit back in the day, but, eventually it just was like, eh, whatever, you know? And I am kinda like, nowadays, I'm kinda like, it would be interesting to go back and play it, but, yeah. Oh, another thing, there's an interesting point about, in Star Citizen. So with Master Modes, there's one question. You have basically combat mode, or like sort of, precision mode, the thing you're going to be using when you're mining, fighting, when you're mining, when you're fighting, that kind of thing. And then you have nav mode, that is basically, you know, you have like a lot of, you have a higher top speed, you have a higher top speed, you have quantum travel, you know, you've got all that, but you don't have shields, blah blah blah. Snub fighters don't have quantum drives. Well, actually, okay, there's a lot of snubs that do have quantum drives, so it's a little weird to say that, but there are ships that do not have quantum drives. And, like, what's the plan there? And I was a little bit surprised. Yogi's preferred, the thing he would like to do, although it probably isn't going to happen, would be to have, the snub fighters just don't have, nav mode, and they have to go at SCM speeds, and they have to, you know, they're supposed to be, you know, fly as if they, you know, they're supposed to be attached, to their, you know, they're supposed to be parasite craft and have a mothership. It would only make sense, really, for them to, it only really makes sense for them to, you know, not have a... It's not necessarily... If we're talking about snub fighters. Personally... Oh, and also... So, that was option A. Option B, C, and D were have a tiny quantum... have a tiny quantum drive, but either... Like, have a tiny quantum drive that doesn't work, that doesn't actually do quantum travel, but it does enable the higher speeds, have... And something else, and that one was the most sensible one in my mind. It's like, you don't need to have a tiny quantum travel, I would think. I guess maybe it makes sense, but maybe it makes sense to do that, but what I would do would just be to just give it nav mode. Just give it nav mode without a quantum travel. Like, I don't know if nav mode is inherently tied to quantum travel, but like, you have like the Argo MPUV that's I don't know necessarily what the full intention is, but I think, you know, it's supposed to be, you know, that kind of thing, and a few other things. The potential for it to go around like a really small planet and fly like 100 kilometers without a quantum drive, because quantum fuel is, you know, a separate expense, and maybe you don't necessarily... Maybe you have a decent... Maybe you don't want to, you know... Maybe you don't want to use quantum fuel. And you are completely fine with having a snub fighter. Well, having a snub fighter, you know, for one thing. For like a local area patrol craft thing. I don't know, it just seems like... I do kind of like the idea, though, of snub fighters not having nav mode, though. I think also it could be argued that things like the MPUV aren't supposed to be long range, and they're supposed to be like... They're just supposed to be from, like, going from ship to ship, like loading cargo, loading crew, you know. Not necessarily, like, station to planet. Like a station to planet thing might be like a raft or something. A raft or a freelancer or an Avenger, or, you know, some things like that. Gosh, it's gonna be crazy though. Alright, I am going in the right direction here. I'm like... Dude, I don't know. I think I am going in the right direction. Yeah, these little indentations I think are all those lakes I ran into, so I'm like right there on the coast, I think. You know, I guess everything must be a fish. Really? Oh my god, you've got to be kidding me. Wait a minute, what? No, because it's the coast. How could I have not ran into... What the fuck? The whole coast thing is stupid. The whole coast thing is stupid. The whole... Like, there's not enough gameplay. There's not enough oceanic gameplay to justify the whole ocean thing, I think. I don't know, am I crazy? It just seems like a lot of effort. A lot of effort for something that I know I'm not gonna... Like, I'm not going to be able to collect these resources, not even considering the farmable thing. I mean, prove me wrong, game, but like, I'm not going to go into the ocean to collect those things, because it's a corrosive environment. It's gonna kill me before I can even collect the thing. And whatever they have, I can find somewhere else. And like... There's a lot about this game's economy that, like, is annoying. And, like, the thing is that, like, if I want to do the series right, where, like, you know, where I go and actually specifically, you know, showcase everything, or showcase, you know, hey, you can get this resource here, you can get this resource here. Like, I have to showcase I have to make note that yes, you can get this thing here. Although hopefully I'll make a note of like, you can get this thing here. Don't get this thing here. You will die. I mean, even these nutrients. I could get them, and also, I guess it's also another thing. These, I can't actually see the creatures, but I can see their outline, and like, they look so cool. I'm not gonna go in and just fucking kill myself so I can see it, though. And why would you even put something out that fast? I think actually I would be more pissed if they actually did add a DLC that had this, because I would never be able to shake the idea that they had this content, they knew what they wanted to do, but they just didn't include it in the vanilla game and they had it as DLC. Like, I don't know. If I can get cynical about that. If I was going to take the most cynical, pessimistic view, oh jeez, oh jeez. But yeah, if I was gonna take the most cynical and pessimistic view, that would be the thing. Like, yeah, it's just... Also, by the way, I do have... let me make sure here. Scanning. Surveying. Yeah, I want to have this. Specifically for this stupid thing. Oh, right, and I just dip my toe in, and it's already, and I could have healed, but still the point is, though, like, this is just... And yes, I think overall I do want... I would prefer if there was ocean gameplay, actual ocean gameplay, as opposed to not, with like some sort of boat or some like submarine or something, or some kind of vehicle like that. I mean, I wouldn't like it because they would just like, because they'd probably add underwater resources that I would have to like then go back and redo my entire series. Not entire series, but I'd have to go through and add the list. Ah, dude, you know, it's actually, that is one thing. I checked out Cyberpunk 2.0. And, okay, so I played Cyberpunk 2077 when, like, around the time it first came out. It was fun. I liked it. I didn't understand what the fuck people were complaining about. What? I might have a better time scanning stuff by shooting the water. Oh my god. The idea of that is... it's bad. See, I can barely see this, but that looks fucking cool. Yeah, so, okay, so I played Cyberpunk 2077, like, when it first came out. Wait. F is the... Yeah, F is the scanner. I just pressed it a bunch of times and it didn't want to go up, and I was like, what the fuck? Okay, sorry. Yeah, so I enjoyed it. I got interested in the tabletop RPG. And, did a bunch of research and was like, you know what, I think I really like... There's a lot about the RPG I really like, and I want to run a game. And the more I found out about the tabletop game, the more I was disappointed it wasn't something along the lines of, like, Baldur's Gate, where it was just a straight copy of the rules and systems in D&D. And I don't know if Baldur's Gate 3 is that way. I assume it is. And sure, there's probably are some mechanics that are changed, just because it might even actually be easier to do some things in, you know, a video game than it might be easier to do some things in video game than in a tabletop setting. Like, for instance, like, body doesn't affect any weapons aside from your melee damage and technically kind of throwing weapons, actually, believe it or not. And that wasn't the case in Cyberpunk 1.0. That's not the case in Cyberpunk 2.0. And 2.0, in fact, it's, if anything, it's worse because they took, like, all of the pistol perks. They changed a bunch of things around with skill tree, and, like, frankly, now I'm just not interested in playing Cyberpunk 2077. Because, like, reflex should be, like, all the pistol perks should be, like, reflex. All the firearm perks should be reflex, because that's how it works in the tabletop game. I don't know, maybe it shouldn't be, maybe it should be, I don't know. Like, part of the balance with, in a tabletop game, usually, like, your body or your, like, strength or, like, constitution or whatever, those might not necessarily have, like, a lot of skills associated with them in a tabletop RPG, because they determine your HP, and that's extraordinarily important. And, like, you have to balance each stat to make sure that, you know, one isn't, like, overly better than the others. And, in the way they did it for 2077, just everything has a bunch of skills. And, like, I don't know, it feels like there's some way you could have made that balance better. And maybe, like, it's not necessarily to say that the things I'm like, disliking make it a bad game. It just means, it just seems really weird and stupid to me. Like, I don't know. I think also because, as much as Cyberpunk Red is a tabletop RPG, it does have the roles, but it also kind of doesn't have a class system necessarily. Like, if you wanted to have a character who was good with assault rifles and good with, and good at driving, you could make any you don't have to be a solo, you don't have to be a nomad, you don't have to, you could be a medtech, you could be a corpo. You could be an exec and, you know, still be good with those things. Sure, technically, maybe, you know, if you want to be a driver, then the Nomads is probably the better pick, because they do give that bonus. And there are some things that, but like, that's more of an exception to the rule than the other way around. So like, yeah, it's a. God, fuck, dude, I should have done like 4 planets by now. But I'm looking for like one more creature on this fucking coastline that has nothing else besides this. I don't know. Part of me wants to like end up as a post on like no sodium Starfield and just have everybody like roast the shit out of me. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Oh my god, that was that worth it? Outpost production allowed? What? Are you fucking serious? How? Oh my god. Okay. Dude, part of me wants to go and try this out. You know what? This is a long episode. I don't think I have the resources to actually do this. Oh my god. Oh, is it aluminum on this planet? Holy shit, okay. Y'all, I gotta see what the fuck this looks like. I ran out of space. Dude, I have never okay. Alright. I have never ran into that thing when I was playing. Like, until now. Until, maybe I ran into it one time before. But I have never ran into the, hey, you hit the edge of the map. I've never run into that until this planet. Until this fucking planet, because I had to go so goddamn long to find the things. This is why I don't. It's really. Alright. And I guess I'm probably gonna need. I don't even need power. I don't even need power to show you how stupid this is. Dude, what? Why? Why? Why can't I do this? And also, by the way, like, genuinely awesome job on oh yeah, they disappear. Whatever, doesn't matter. It's gonna disassemble this anyways. A genuinely great job on the creature design, by the way. But what the fuck is that? Why? Why is that a thing? Oh great. I need to come up with a thing for making sure I don't. Hold on. Oh, remove outpost. Right. I forgot how that worked. Oh my god. I think also my Mochi might be here, so I'm gonna... dude. Don't get me wrong. Again, there's a lot of things I like, but that ocean gameplay specifically. And other things about planets, but like, oh my god, dude, what? Until next time, have a good day, great day even. Chowskis.